They sold burgers to the world, but that's not how they made their billions. This is the hidden strategy behind McDonald's empire. In the late 1940s, in the modest city of San Bernardino, two brothers quietly changed the future of the food industry. Richard McDonald and Maurice McDonald were not billionaires, nor were they visionaries chasing global domination. They were practical men trying to solve a simple problem: how to serve food faster, cheaper, and more efficiently. At the time, restaurants were slow and chaotic. Customers waited long periods for food, menus were unnecessarily large, and operations lacked structure. The McDonald brothers decided to strip everything down to its essentials. They eliminated unnecessary items and focused on a small selection: hamburgers, fries, and beverages. But the real innovation wasn't the menu, it was the system behind it. They redesigned their kitchen like an assembly line, inspired by industrial manufacturing. Every worker had a specific role. Every step was timed. Every movement was optimized. This became known as the speedy service system, and it allowed them to serve food in seconds rather than minutes. It wasn't just efficient, it was revolutionary. Customers loved it. The food was fast, affordable, and consistent. But while the brothers saw a successful restaurant, someone else saw something much bigger. In 1954, a struggling salesman named Ray Kroc noticed something unusual. One small restaurant was ordering an unusually high number of milkshake machines. Curious, he traveled to California to see it for himself. What he found wasn't just a restaurant, it was a system that could be replicated anywhere. Kroc immediately recognized the potential for expansion. He envisioned thousands of identical restaurants across the country, each operating with the same efficiency and consistency. He approached the McDonald brothers with a proposal to franchise their concept. They agreed, but with caution. Kroc, however, was thinking far beyond a few locations. He was thinking about scale. In the late 1940s, in the modest city of San Bernardino, two brothers quietly changed the future of the food industry. Richard McDonald and Maurice McDonald were not billionaires, nor were they chasing global domination. They were practical thinkers trying to solve a simple but powerful problem: how to serve food faster, cheaper, and more efficiently. At the time, restaurants were slow and disorganized. Customers waited long periods for their meals, menus were overcrowded with options, and kitchens lacked structure. The brothers realized that complexity was the enemy of efficiency. So they made a bold decision: they simplified everything. They reduced the menu to just a few core items: hamburgers, fries, and drinks. But their real innovation wasn't what they served. It was how they served it. They redesigned the kitchen using principles inspired by industrial assembly lines. Each worker was assigned a specific task. Every movement was carefully planned. Every second mattered. This system, known as the speedy service system, transformed food preparation into a streamlined process. Meals that once took minutes could now be prepared in seconds. It was fast, consistent, and scalable. Customers immediately responded. The food was affordable, reliable, and incredibly quick. The restaurant became popular. But while the brothers saw a successful local business, someone else saw something far bigger. In 1954, a struggling milkshake machine salesman named Ray Kroc noticed something unusual. One small restaurant was ordering an unusually high number of milkshake machines. For most people, it would have been just another sale. But for Kroc, it raised a question: what kind of business needed that many machines? Curiosity led him to visit the restaurant in San Bernardino. What he discovered was far more than a busy food stand. It was a perfectly engineered system. Every movement in the kitchen was deliberate. Every task was optimized. Orders moved with precision, and food was delivered with speed and consistency that was unheard of at the time. Kroc didn't just see a restaurant. He saw a blueprint. Instantly, he understood the potential. This wasn't something that should exist in just one location. This could be everywhere. He imagined a network of identical restaurants across the country, each one operating with the same efficiency, the same taste, and the same experience. So he approached the McDonald brothers with a proposal: expand through franchising. They agreed, but with caution. They were satisfied with what they had built. Kroc, however, was thinking on an entirely different scale. He wasn't just building restaurants, he was building a system that could multiply endlessly. Franchising itself wasn't new, but Kroc transformed it into something powerful. He introduced strict operational standards that every franchise had to follow. The menu, the cooking process, the layout, even the timing, everything had to be identical. Whether a customer visited a McDonald's in California or across the country, the experience had to feel exactly the same. This level of consistency became the foundation of trust. And trust fueled growth. As more locations opened, customers knew exactly what to expect. No surprises. No inconsistencies. Just speed, reliability, and familiarity. And that predictability made McDonald's stand out in a chaotic restaurant industry. But the true genius of McDonald's was something most people never noticed. It wasn't just about selling food. It was about control. Kroc realized that the most valuable part of the business wasn't the restaurant itself, it was the land underneath it. Instead of allowing franchise owners to purchase their own locations, McDonald's began buying the land and leasing it to them. This created a completely different business model. Now, McDonald's didn't just earn money from food sales or franchise fees, it earned steady, long-term income through rent. And not just any rent, prime location rent, in growing cities, on increasingly valuable land. As time passed, property values rose. And McDonald's owned more and more of it. Quietly, without attracting much attention, the company built one of the most powerful real estate portfolios in the world. The burgers brought people in, but the land built the empire. This strategy transformed the company completely. McDonald's was no longer just a fast food chain. It became a real estate powerhouse disguised as a restaurant business. The food attracted customers, but the land created long-term wealth. As the business grew, tensions emerged between Kroc and the McDonald brothers. They preferred a controlled pace, while Kroc pushed for aggressive expansion. Eventually, in 1961, Kroc made a decisive move. He bought the company for $2.7 million. At the time, it was a major investment. In hindsight, it was one of the greatest business decisions ever made. With full control, Kroc accelerated expansion. McDonald's spread rapidly across the United States and then internationally. But growth alone wasn't enough. Kroc understood the importance of branding. He introduced the iconic golden arches, built a family-friendly image, and positioned McDonald's as more than just a place to eat. It became a symbol, recognizable, reliable, and consistent. Behind the scenes, the company continued refining its operations. Efficiency remained its core strength. Supply chains were optimized. Cooking methods were improved. Processes were standardized at every level. McDonald's became a system so precise that it could serve millions of customers daily without losing quality or consistency. As the company expanded globally, it faced new challenges. Different cultures had different tastes, preferences, and dietary restrictions. McDonald's responded by adapting its menu while maintaining its core system. In India, it removed beef products. In Japan, it introduced localized flavors. In the Middle East, it followed halal standards. This balance between global consistency and local adaptation became a key factor in its international success. However, rapid growth also brought criticism. Over time, McDonald's faced concerns about health, environmental impact, and labor practices. Consumer expectations began to change. People wanted healthier options, greater transparency, and more responsibility from corporations. Once again, McDonald's adapted. It introduced healthier menu items, improved sustainability practices, and embraced more transparent operations. In the modern digital era, McDonald's continued evolving. Technology became a central part of its strategy. Mobile apps, self-service kiosks, and delivery partnerships transformed how customers interacted with the brand. The company integrated digital systems to increase speed, efficiency, and convenience, staying true to the same principles that started it all. Today, McDonald's operates tens of thousands of locations in over 100 countries. It serves millions of people every day and is valued at over $200 billion. But its success is not just about numbers. The real story lies in its strategy. McDonald's didn't succeed because it made the best burgers. It succeeded because it built a system that could scale endlessly. It controlled its real estate, ensuring financial stability. It maintained consistency, building trust across generations. And it continuously adapted to change, staying relevant in an evolving world. What began as a small restaurant in California became a global empire not by chance, but by design. The food made McDonald's famous, but the system made it unstoppable. And that is the true secret behind one of the most powerful business empires in history. If you want more stories like this, make sure to subscribe because the next one might change how you see the world.